A pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I am your presenter Larry LaRoque. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, PM Skerrit sends strong message to parliamentary representatives. Bahamas crime threat level critical, says US report. Al-Qaeda attack on Yemen army parade causes carnage. Details of these and other stories after the break.
Free at last! Free at last! Free at last! Yes, Dominica, we are here at last. Come in today and sign up for your SAT internet. No fixed line charges, no installation charge, no modem charge, and no contract required. Just come in and sign up for the most economical internet broadband service. Choose one of 5 packages starting at $28.75. Together with your internet package, you will receive a telephone where you will be able to call SAT to SAT for free. No rental charges. Yes, SAT to SAT for free. What are you waiting for? Come in today. Sign up now for your high-speed broadband internet only with SAT. For more information, call 448-5095 or 448-5096. Remember, SAT Telecoms is the people's choice.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. Members and supporters of the Dominica Cancer Society all converged to the New Day Fellowship and Deliverance Ministries on Saturday, May 19th, as they hosted a candlelight procession and service in memory of life which have been lost through the disease. President of the Cancer Society, Mrs. Vina Roye, says, the purpose of this activity is to remember friends and loved ones who have passed on. Mrs. Roy also said the association has embarked upon an awareness campaign aimed at seeking to educate the public on the disease, offer a support system for those who are living with the disease, as well as encourage others to get tested.
We are glad because God has seen us through another year. Seems like just yesterday we were celebrating at the Windsor Park. A year in which we were happy to have realized a very comforting dream. Our dream was realized when we opened our own home at number 9 Francis Lane. We give thanks today for the assistance that made this possible. First, thanks to the government of Dominica, and then to the government of Australia.
Mrs. Roy said it was encouraging that so many men and women responded to their screening and education outreach, where doctors worked very hard to ensure that the job was done well.
We are indeed blessed in the Cancer Society with a team spirit that strengthens our bonds as we realize that we had more in common than just our concern for cancer awareness and cancer support. Just recently, Tina was making the remark that, there is something even greater among us, or between us. Our love for the Lord and our total reliance on His divine providence to see us through all our difficult moments.
She also said that while reflecting with thanksgiving on the past, she prays that they will recommit the development and the involvement of the organization into God's hands. Mrs. Roy added they will continue to advocate for improvements in the services offered to those who need cancer care.
We will dedicate ourselves to more and more training for more effective support. We look forward to establishing support groups in various parts of the country. And while we say that, we want to single out the Roseau support group.
Last month, the association held free screening sessions for women in Roseau, as well as free screening sessions for men in the Roseau and Portsmouth districts. The candlelight procession started off in Peebles Park, then went along the Roseau Market to cross the new Dominica-China Friendship Bridge, then onto Pottersville, and made their way to the New Day Fellowship Deliverance Ministries on Elliott Avenue for a praise and worship session. The service was held under the patronage of the President of Dominica, His Excellency Dr. Nicholas Liverpool. The National Cooperative Credit Union NCCU is urging individuals to take greater interest in saving through the second annual general meeting, which was held on Sunday, May 20th.
We meet at a time when we are confronted with unprecedented challenges, but also unique opportunities to transform our organization into a more efficient and customer-focused entity. Can you hear me still? We're going to break the rain. We have to stay. We have to have a meeting. Okay? The year in review of 2011 has...
President of the NCCU, Mr. Dexter Ducre, says the financial predicament has been focused on financial systems in major players and markets, as he believes this may be the superlative option.
Focus on, that as a crisis of historic magnitude unfolds, we at NCCU are confronted with its implications. This reminds us that we are not immune to the financial shocks that vibrate through our economies and ultimately hoovers down onto our members. As a consequence, we have responded to an elevated request from members to consolidate both personal and small business loans as to create an easing of pressure on a demand for cash flow.
He says, seeing as concerns for the community has increased, the credit union will be sponsoring 2 major projects, which are scholarships for the youths and a school reading project. Mr. Ducre thinks that this is a positive motivation as well as encouragement for the children.
NCCU grants scholarships to students on a merit and need basis. In an effort to honor our pioneers, all scholarships are granted in their names. Scholarships are allocated to students that are successful at the National Assessment Examination and students attending the Dominica State College. The scholarships entail tuition fee, books, stationery, stipend for transportation and school fees, in addition, CXA examination fees.
The credit union is investing over $85,000 into these projects to ensure that the children are not left behind. The school reading project will sum up to at least $55,000, Mr. Ducre mentioned.
Reading project. Information reaching the board indicated that in communities where we have branches, students in the primary schools are very deficient in their reading ability. We strongly believe that our children are the leaders of tomorrow. Therefore, in an effort to alleviate such deplorable plight, we employ a coordinator to implement a literacy program. After a year of implementation, I was thrilled to see the excitement on the children's faces who can now read. This investment is over $55,000. I must say, members, that is money well spent.
He says he strongly believes that the children are the leaders of tomorrow, and he feels that it is wise that we invest into their future. On May 20th, a new leadership program called Seed of Success, or better known as SOS, was launched at the Goodwill Parish Hall. Seeds of Success is a program for Christian leaders who are committed to making a difference in their communities.
A program which is ready to build family, church, and community by nurturing a culture of leadership, developing our laity, and all facets of church ministry. The mission of this program is to develop and implement a substantial Christian leadership development program across all church ministries as a core part of our Catholic education, including adult education and our Catholic school system.
The group's mission is to develop and implement a sustained Christian leadership development program across all church ministries as a core part of Catholic education, including adult education and Catholic school systems. In addition, it aims to ensure that Catholic men and young male adults are availed to take advantage of equal opportunity to participate in Christian leadership development programs.
Leadership is always on demand. We always need leaders in order to move organizations, to move associations and communities. Leadership is a given, that is, in terms of its need. But as to whether we have the kind of leadership that is necessary, this is what we are here, of course, to find out, and we are here to discover, and we are here to participate in.
The program targets leaders of church groups, youth groups, catechists, counselors, and also the youth. His Lordship Gabriel Malzier highlighted the need for not just leadership in society today, but a special application of leadership in the religious sector.
Christian leadership, of course, is what we are about. And it is not a question of having the right expertise to deliver or to practice leadership. But Christian leadership is of a particular nature. It also requires one to live what he exercises. So a Christian leader is called not simply to practice or to share his or her expertise, but also to live in a particular way.
The participants of the SOS launch took part in interactive presentations by founder of SOS, Mr. Bill Moyer, and had the opportunity to purchase his book. As part of Tourism Awareness Month, the Discover Dominica Authority, in collaboration with the Rotary Club, recognized No Plastic Bag Shopping Day on Saturday, May 19th. The objective of the event was to encourage shoppers to take along their shopping bags or baskets to supermarkets, which will ultimately reduce the usage of plastic bags in everyday activities. Marketing Executive of Discover Dominica Authority, Ms. Samantha Smith, says this was done as part of celebrating Tourism Awareness Month, 3 R's Week: Reuse, Reduce, Recycle.
Our mission mainly was to basically inform persons, sensitize them on the use, rather the effects of plastic bags. So we were calling on persons to reduce on the number of plastic bags that they use, for instance, when they go to the supermarket, and find alternative ways. Back in the days, we would use paper bags, baskets, that sort of thing when we go to the grocery store. So we were trying to get persons back into the habit. During that week of activity, we had many tips being aired on the radios and the television, but we decided that we needed to take it a step further.
Ms. Smith says that to host the event, they partnered with supermarkets such as Breezy's Mart, Whitchurch IGA Supercenter, Save-A-Lot, and H.H. Wilson Supermarket.
What we did was to visit the supermarkets on Saturday the 19th, May 19th, and gave bags, shopping bags, to the customers in the supermarket so that they could use to carry their groceries. We basically informed them about what we were doing and asked them to basically join us in the initiative, so they would not put their groceries into plastic bags but rather use the shopping bags. We did this throughout the morning on Saturday, and I must say it was well received. Many persons have informed that they will now look to continue doing that. So we're asking them to reuse the bags, not just on that day, but other days that they go to shop, to use the bags so that we can help save the environment and our income.
Managing Director of Whitchurch IGA Supercenter, Mr. Gary N., was pleased to participate in the event, says it is time that we stop the usage of plastic bags, which are not good for the environment and cost the company lots of money.
We ourselves give them out as if it's a freeness. And I think apart from that, as far as the environment is concerned, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it takes perhaps 1,000 years for a plastic bag to degrade. So I'm very, very happy. I hope it works. I hope other people take it on, and I hope the general public understand what is happening, that they have a proper bag. They can come, they can do their shopping, they take the bag home, they come to shop again, they bring back the same bag. So I don't think that really should be a problem for anybody.
Mr. Ed says that currently his company is in the process of using biodegradable bags, which will be much better for the environment. He added that the rest of the world is doing it, so there is no reason we should be behind to preserve our environment in the nature isle of the Caribbean.
This business of indiscriminate dumping everywhere in this country, riverbanks, on the beachfront, between houses, it has to stop. It is illegal, it is unhealthy, and if we are there trying to promote ourselves as a nature island, rubbish does not go with nature island. Neither do all these wrecked vehicles that just, all of a sudden you see them just parked on the side of the road. These things have to stop. And the people know who are doing it, and everybody loves their country, they love their country. But as usual, jete tu patu, ani kite lai.
Assistant Manager of Bridges Mart, Ms. Marilyn Minette, says they took part in the event because they do believe in saving the environment.
We here now offer the customers a bag, a Bridges Mart bag when they shop. So instead of using 3-4 plastic bags, they can use the bags and just maybe take one plastic bag if they need extra to put in their things. So I think it's a good idea, saving the environment. The plastic bags will not take so long time to deteriorate, and that means our landfill would not be so full up at any one time.
Ms. Minette says that it is very important that the public use reusable bags for shopping and to take advantage of the reusable bags which they are providing customers with, playing their part in saving the environment. Speaking at the Dominica Labour Party DLP Delegates Conference on May 20th, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit announced plans to scrutinize the DLP and set actions in motion to invest in the best candidates possible. Using a cricket metaphor, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit says that he is taking the approach not because the spinners are bowling any better, but because they are playing in conditions that are deteriorating.
I see the need, though we have been at the crease for a relatively long time and have scored many runs, to stop and take fresh guard. It is not that the spinners are bowling any better. It may be just that playing conditions are deteriorating. If all along we have been batting on leg, I want today to start to reposition this party to bat middle and leg. For I want to ensure that we protect our wicket. Looking around the Caribbean and the world today, the off stump is being attacked. So we cannot stubbornly remain on leg. We have to adjust to the conditions and position ourselves to prevail.
Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit says he sees the need to stop and take fresh guard. He told the delegates that he is taking the opportunity to warn the party's parliamentarians that they are about to be placed under the microscope for some serious scrutiny. No parliamentary representative is guaranteed automatic endorsement in the party, he said, and he intends to declare all constituencies vacant, and persons will have to make a case as to why they should return as a candidate for the DLP.
I am saying this afternoon that there are too many Labour Party operatives walking around with chests in the air and not pulling their reasonable weight in the service of this party. Too many Labour Party operatives walking as if people do not exist. And too many Labour Party operatives are behaving as if they come from a different planet. For them, the party is not what is trending. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I beg to differ. For me, the party is definitely where it is at.
As the party celebrates its 57th anniversary, party leader and Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is urging party supporters to bring party flags in for much-needed repair and challenges party members, supporters and activists to show a greater level of commitment towards the party and take it to the next level. Mr. Skerrit advises supporters to recommit themselves to the development of the party, as they cannot take the country to the next level before taking the party itself to the next level first.
Those who cannot and who do not make a satisfactory case for retention will be replaced as candidates. But in the meantime, I want the party's presence in the constituencies to be strong and its image favorable, so as to give me the room and maneuverability to do what I have to do as political leader, to ensure that we end up with the 21 strongest candidates this party can field in 2015 or whenever the next general elections are called.
The DLP currently holds 18 of the country's 21 parliamentary seats, with the opposition United Workers' Party having 3. While Mr. Skerrit scolded his supporters and activists, he said he wants at least 2,000 new members to join the party by the end of the year. President of the Dominica Football Association, DFA, Mr. Glenn Etienne, is urging critics and fans that the association is on sound footing and is presently enjoying an outpouring of support from many teams, clubs and individuals. He made the statement at the Dominica Football Association Delegates Conference, which was held at the Football House in Bath Estate on Saturday, May 19th.
By now, many of you gathered here are well aware of the circumstances surrounding the suspension of Mr. Patrick John by the FIFA Ethics Committee, as well as Mr. John's failed appeal. The suspension of Mr. John has in no way, shape or form affected the running of the Dominica Football Association. On the contrary, it has only made it stronger, since the contribution of each board member is valued and appreciated.
Mr. Etienne is also ensuring that the trust and confidence many persons have placed in the DFA will not go to waste. He stated during the football season, one of the biggest achievements was the progress made in women's football, as now they have seen an increase in the number of women participating in the sport of football. He said this increase is coming from the secondary schools island-wide.
Through the Win with CONCACAF in CONCACAF initiative, we have staged 2 successful coaching courses targeting secondary school teachers. These 2 courses were aimed at equipping our coaches at the secondary schools with skills and competencies, which will allow them to identify talent at the schools and to nurture that talent, while at the same time grooming a cadre of players who will be eligible to represent the island at regional and international competitions. As a direct result of the 2 coaching courses, we have more women participating in football at the school level for a school competition which is currently underway. From all reports, the competition is keen and the young ladies are very excited to be given the opportunity to showcase their talent.
The president also mentioned that FIFA is pleased with the work they are doing to improving women's football on the island.
Mrs. Andrea Rodaba, who conducted the 2 coaching courses, commended the DFA for its organization and interest shown in women's football and its development, and concluded that there is the potential for women's football to blossom. FIFA has agreed and said that it is happy to lend the services of one of its women football and competition experts to assess the statutes of the women's competition with a view to establish the necessary framework for long-term sustainability. In addition, FIFA has confirmed that it will provide football equipment for the teams participating in the current secondary school girls' league.
Mr. Etienne pointed out that a number of competitions have reached their conclusion, such as the Premier Division, the Knockout, the First Division and the Intermediate Division. He also said a number of communities have benefited from the community outreach programs such as Laplin, Dubla, Tarishpit, Stock Farm, Girardel, Trafalgar and Chair.
The teams worthy of praise are Harlem Football Club for their winning the Premier Division League, Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers for winning the Premier Division Knockout, and to Point Michel for winning both the intermediate competition and the Division 1 competition. Let me at this time extend special congratulations to Sam Martin Point Michel for gaining promotion to the Premier Division competition. The other competitions which are currently being staged, these are the Women's League and the All-Island, which will their conclusion in the 2nd week of June.
He also highlighted that the DFA has submitted new designs to FIFA for the 2nd phase of the Goal 2 project, and FIFA stated they are happy to discuss this project. Mr. Etienne went on to say that he will be meeting with FIFA officials in Hungary soon to discuss the Goal 2 project's new proposal and the dissemination of funds. In an effort to control the recent increase of non-communicable diseases in Dominica, the sports division held their 2nd health walk that commenced at the Layu Junction.
It was a success for us today, and we were happy that we could have it all, as we have been having difficulties from time to time due to the number of work of different activities that the sports division is holding. We often find difficulties putting it in.
Sports officer Mr. Godwin Dorset says, in comparison to the first health walk, the turnout was much greater. However, he believes most people did not show up due to the bad weather. Mr. Dorset believes keeping healthy is vital, and we can do so just by taking a 30-minute walk each day. In addition, he stated that walking is a gentle, low-impact exercise that can ease anyone into a high level of fitness while combating many illnesses.
Well, okay, this is the 2nd health walk of the sports division, coming from Layu into Salisbury. Well, this morning was very cool. And I believe, well, the officers enjoy themselves. As you can see them walking along the road. We were expecting a little more participation from the public, but I don't know whether the rain in itself kept them away, because as you see, they started. But personally, as the person in charge here for the health walk, it's something that we're going to continue doing and try to have a bigger hype at around the villages and things like that.
Sports Officer of the Western District, Mr. Edmond Odin, says the division will carry on hosting a walk every month for the year 2012 as it seeks to pursue its mandate to enhance the quality of life.
Division organized the walk. We were on the media. I'm trying to inform people of the walk today. Different media. We were on the radio, through print media. We put up posters. There are groups in the communities where we went to meetings and we told them what was going on, and we expected them here today, but I don't know, for some reason, much of them did not, I'm sure. But as I said, we enjoy the work among staff.
The next health walk will commence in Salisbury, where the public is expected to power walk to Portsmouth.
We expect to go to Portsmouth because we start in Roseau and we come down to Salisbury, Layo, and we will just be continuing down. So we'll go to the next district, which is the North District in Portsmouth, and this will be the next area for the next health walk.
The sports division has organized a PA system which played music and gave out health tips to encourage participation of members of the various communities that it passes through. We now go to Abigail Durant for tonight's court news.
Magistrate Evelina Baptist told 47-year-old Stephen Girdell in a case she presided over that he violated the trust of his employer. Mr. Girdell of Silver Lake works for an 84-year-old woman who lived on River Street. The woman in question is bedridden and cannot take care of herself. As a result, she pays persons to help her around the house. On May 18th, after paying Mr. Girdell $10 for some tasks performed, he walked over to the refrigerator, took out 3 pounds of bullfoot, valued at EC $40, and put it in a clear plastic bag. He then proceeded to walk out the door when she called out to him to stop. However, he paid her no mind. A passerby who knew her stopped to help the woman who was in distress and tried to find Mr. Girdell. A report was made to the police on her behalf on May 20th. When the defendant was approached by the police, he admitted to the crime and appeared before the court on May 21st. Mr. Girdell pleaded guilty to the charge of theft, and Magistrate Evelina Baptist told Mr. Girdell that his conduct could only be described as poor, for he should have known better. Mr. Girdell was served a 2-year suspended sentence to pay a fine of $1,400 or spend 7 months in jail. In other words, if during the 2-year period he were to commit another crime, he would have to serve the sentence. However, if the allotted time was to pass with no such incidents, he would not be required to pay the fine. He was thus ordered to pay by way of compensation EC $40 to be paid by July 2nd or spend 8 weeks imprisonment.
Thank you, Ms. Durant, for that report. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.